I'm Louis Petit, and I'm the subject for D is for Distance, and me and my epilepsy.
Hi, I'm Emma Matthews. I'm Louis' mum, but I'm also the co-director of D is for Distance and editor of D is for Distance.
My name is Chris Pettit, filmmaker of international renown, occasional author of books, and the co-director of the film D is for Distance.
So what led you to making the film D is for Distance?
Well, I can answer that. Louis was very, very ill for 4 years with epilepsy. And it wasn't until Emma took him to the Netherlands for cannabis medication that there was any kind of start to an improvement, as a result of which he's now been seizure-free because of the cannabis medication for over 5 years. Now, we had no intention of making a film, absolutely none, until we made a little crowdfunding film. And we decided that it might be possible to make something in a way that, it wasn't just a depressing story about something that happened to a family, but to actually widen the subject out in terms of making a film which had universal aspects as well. It was about time, about memory, about sickness, about the brain. And once we sort of shifted away from the intense close focus, then actually it became much easier to think about it as a film.
How did you guys all then get connected to create this film about Louis?
We're his parents.
Oh, you're both his parents. My apologies.
We're both filmmakers. I've been editing all my life, and we've worked together before. And so it kind of made sense in a way to make this little 10-minute film we made, which was just for a crowdfunding site to fund his medical cannabis, because you can only get it on private prescription here, although he should have it on the NHS actually, which is a whole other story. But that film, people really liked this little 10-minute film we made, and I think a few people suggested, why don't you make a longer film? And that's when we thought, well, we would like to. There's so much stigma surrounding epilepsy that we wanted to bring more awareness generally about how unknown it all is as well, and how treatments are just guesswork. Many people are never seizure-free on the medication. So we wanted to, we were told Lou would never be seizure-free as well until we tried medical cannabis. And now, nearly 5 years later, he's not had touch wood, he's not had a seizure and is thriving, having been on medication that stopped him processing new memories for 4 years.
Yeah.
I mean, Louis can talk about it because he can hardly remember anything from that time.
Yeah,
and now he's just graduated. So
congrats on graduating, Louis.
Thank you very much.
What was that like, that conversation with your parents of sharing your story and actually being in front of the camera and having to share your story?
I don't remember what the conversation was like, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been very weird. Yeah, I don't remember the specific time it was kind of like pitched, and also like I never really imagined it would get this far, to be honest, as well. So it's kind of, I feel like it's been more of a slow burn in the sort of, because it is obviously a very personal subject matter. Like there's footage of me having seizures in the film because my mum had to film me having those seizures for doctors to analyse them. So it's a very vulnerable sort of film to be making, a very vulnerable subject matter. So it was kind of a very sort of slow, like processing anything this big is. It's going to be very slow. It's going to be very strenuous, but it did force me to do that processing that I need to do to get to a point of stability that I need to be at. And I think in the end, despite it being hard to make a film this vulnerable and this personal, I think in the end it did. It helped me reach a level of detachment that I needed to reach to feel stable again. And I still have a long way to go in terms of processing everything that happened. I don't remember most of what happened, but this film's definitely helped me do a lot of that.
I guess, how does it feel to be part of a festival like this, and sharing your story in front of all these people, I mean, being in the limelight now?
a lot. It feels a lot of things. It's exciting. It's scary. Say exciting and scary are the main two to take away from that, to be honest. But yeah, it's really amazing, and I'm also very happy because I do think that epilepsy is a very misunderstood disability. I think it's generalized hugely. I think epilepsy is individual to each person that has it. It's not an umbrella sort of thing that everyone experiences the same way. Everyone has unique seizures, everyone has unique experiences, everyone has unique triggers, and it's not. And I think that's important to spread as well and raise awareness for that. But
yeah, raising awareness. I mean, that leads me on to my final question for you all. What do you hope this film, leads to or creates conversations about?
Well, this is very, very important to us indeed, because after Louis became ill, I mean, I knew nothing about epilepsy at all when Louis became ill at 12 years old. And as he got sicker and sicker, I started connecting with other parents and mothers of children with epilepsy. And those people mean so much to me now. And I want to be able to tell to the world to understand more about what it's like to be a mother of a child with severe drug-resistant epilepsy, because I don't think anyone can really understand that unless you experience it, and we need more research into epilepsy. There's only 30% of children with epilepsy are drug-resistant, so none of the drugs work. Medical cannabis can help them, and we need more research into drug-resistant epilepsy and into medical cannabis. It should be more available. It should be available on the NHS, I think, because none of the other drugs work. So when doctors worry about side effects, you're thinking of the unknown side effects of medical cannabis. I think the other drugs are actually much more addictive, much more brain damaging to the brain often. They cause birth defects in the children of the people on that medication as well. The drugs are really, really tough. They stop people being able to talk, remember things. I mean, sometimes if the drugs work, it's fine, it's great. But for those 30% of people where they're not working, the side effects are really severe. And I don't think there's enough awareness of that. And I have also experienced how much stigma there is still with epilepsy. In COVID, we mentioned this in the film, but during COVID lockdown, there were people with epilepsy and learning disabilities who were given do not resuscitate orders without their family knowing. And that's really shocking that could have happened. Do you want to?
Yeah, I guess, thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, it's I guess, of utmost importance that this message is shared. I guess just initially, with this film being out, and obviously in the process of making this documentary and speaking to other people, what sort of feedback have you been getting from that community now?
Oh, actually, it's been it's been to a lot of international festivals now, and often people with epilepsy have come to screenings and have been incredibly moved. And I've got to know people who are still struggling with uncontrolled seizures, and it's meant a lot, I think, because it is a quite strange film. It's not a straightforward documentary at all. But epilepsy is like that. The brain is like that. There's so much we don't understand, and a lot of people that have seen it say that it's like stepping into their world. And I think I wanted to bring more awareness about it for people with epilepsy and for the world to understand what it's like to live with this.
I would say that when Louis was being withdrawn off the really heavy medication, he was having these extraordinary hallucinations. I mean, really way out there. And he transformed these hallucinations into his art. And when we came to the film, I thought that it should be quite kind of trippy, to use a slightly flippant word. But I thought that if the paintings were in a way like receptors of what he'd been through, then I thought that we ought to go with that in the way that the film presents itself. So it's not a standard realistic documentary, and we use all kinds of. We use really old silent movies. It's more like a kind of collage, or to try and create a kind of state of mind than just somebody explaining, oh, this is what happened.
I think that's quite incredible because things like that stick with you as well as the messaging, just the way you guys are delivering that messaging, it will stick with a lot of people once they see the film. Just final one for myself is where's the journey with this film going next? Where can people get involved or have these conversations?
Well, the BFI are going to be releasing the film next year at some point, which is amazing. And I think they'll be streaming it, I think. So, I mean, that's great as well. And it's been to a lot of festivals, so a lot of people are seeing it. And I mean, just about... and Louis's art is extraordinary, and that is what's so strange. When Louis was very ill, he was still drawing and painting, however ill he was, throughout the years he was ill, even though sometimes he could hardly finish a sentence because of the medication. So that is extraordinary. So I would like there be, so I'd like a lot of neurologists to watch the film too, maybe.
Yeah, well, massive platform. Everyone should go see it. It's amazing to see a powerhouse like the BFI supporting this, so that's great. Louis, again, congrats on the graduation as well. I wish you guys the best of luck with this film. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.